Danny Segura for MMA Junkie here in San Antonio at the AT&T Center, where in just some hours, Chito Vera is going to be headlining this card against Cory Sandhagen. This is a huge fight, man. This is a big fight. Does it feel that way?
It's a huge fight. I think a lot of people is excited about it. A lot of people is looking forward because two guys that come and fight and they're always ready and they're always looking forward a great fight, and that's what we hear.
Yeah, certainly. A lot has been talked about, like what's at stake here, right? Because the division, there's so many contenders, right? But do you feel like once you step on the cage, we know that magic can be recreated in a post-fight interview, in a performance. Do you feel like you have a good chance to convince the UFC brass on Saturday night for you to get the next title shot?
I feel like great performances always will set you up for a title shot, and you know, the UFC got a couple of guys that are ready for a belt. I'm one of those. Cody's one of those. Merab is one of those. Jan or Miley is one of those. So I'm just taking in any order the UFC's line them up for me, and I'm just making sure I'm putting them away.
And all throughout, in recent years especially, you've kept a very stoic attitude towards this title run, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You keep your head cool, you don't get frustrated if there's politics or whatever going on, if somebody's coming at a retirement, getting a title shot, whatever the case may be. We've seen other contenders in the past get a bit frustrated and then sometimes not get to the finish line. What made you sort of made that switch and think like, hey, this is a marathon here?
I feel it's a little bit of common sense. A lot of guys go crazy against the UFC, start complaining, start getting mad, and they don't get anything. So why act like them when I can be myself and get whatever I want?
And you've made it clear you want to become UFC champion, hopefully this year, fight for the belt. As I told you in the media day, and we discussed that, you know, in the Latin American scene, in the Hispanic scene, you guys have been coming up. Brandon Moreno, who's here present, champion, Jair Rodriguez, Alexa Grasso, and obviously we have tons of Hispanic contenders. What was how has that motivated you? Because you were part of that. You were part of that first season of The Ultimate Fighter, part of that developmental deal. How much has that motivated you?
That motivated me a ton. The first guy that did it was Brandon, and that was really big for myself. I just fit for it, you know what I'm saying? I just saw that and I was like, well, we're going to the right direction, and I feel like we're really close to make it happen, and that's why tomorrow night is very important to me.
Yeah. And I've spoken to some people that live in Ecuador. They say that ceviche, which is, you know, your jam over there in Ecuador, is not called ceviche anymore, but cevichito.
That's what they call him now, and you know, it's just all the love from the fans and all the love from the country is just growing and growing, and it really feels good to get to this point because I know they back me up and I know they're super stoked when I'm getting to the cage.
10 years ago, you were in the developmental deal, 2013 in Jackson's. Did you ever think like in 10 years you would be here headlining yet another UFC event, a whole country behind you, and you know, one of the best fighters right now in the world?
It was all a dream, and I just put in work and keep chasing what I really love and like, and it's paying the fruits now.
By the end of this year, where do you see yourself? Come the end of 2023, what are your goals? What do you want to have done throughout this calendar year?
I want to be a world champion, but as of now, I just see me winning tomorrow night. That's the most important to me right now.
Lastly, just a couple more questions. You're about to walk out there and look at Cory Sandhagen in the eyes and in the final face-off. Is that when the fight starts? Do you have any psychology going into it? Some fighters treat it like that, some others don't. How do you feel about having a stare down?
To me, this is part of the game, right? I gotta go face him out, and I'm just gonna be myself. Look him in the eye and let him know I'm here to go to war. I'm here to dig deep, and tomorrow night, I'm gonna fight my ass off.
Awesome, Chito. I appreciate the time. Best of luck. Thank you.